Hello and welcome to this video where I am going to be creating a brand new memory keeping journal with this A5 Archer and Olive notebook that came from the June subscription box. Not sponsored, just letting y'all know where it came from. So I really like this notebook. It's got a really cool detail on the edge here, on the spine, and then on the back it has some bumblebees that are really cute. And then this is unique as well because it has lavender pages. So in a moment I'm going to be creating in this one, but I also wanted to show you the other journals in my lineup. Okay, so I actually have quite a few journals, and this is going to be the 7th additional journal in my lineup. But let's go through these and I'll show you what I'm working with right now. The first one that I'll show is this amazing just like book that I use to scribble in and make notes in. It is so low stakes, so I feel like I can put a lot of just whatever in this. The paper is pretty thin, so I don't use like fancy art supplies usually. I'm just doing like, you know, pen or whatnot in here. So yes, so this is the first one. Love this one so much. A lot of my to-do lists go in here and just like brain dumps, and it's more of like an everyday note-taking journal. So that is probably my most used one. It's at least top 3. The second most used one would be this one. This is my everyday journal. And so this one is also an A5 like these other two. And this one I write in as my writing practice every day, and so it is very important, and if I go a day without writing I feel very weird. So that is what's up with this one. That's the everyday journal. The next one is my long-term collections journal. So this one spans 3 years, and I started this one this past May, so I've been in it for a few months now, but it actually has tabs for 25, 26, and 27. And then I have some monthly collections in here. So yes, but I recently decided I'm migrating, when I'm done with this monthly collection situation in here in December, I'm migrating those to this next journal, which is a creative planner. And so this one, I'll just show you, has like my weekly spreads in it and then some monthly spreads with the little tabs. So this is like where I do like my notes for my work. And where's a monthly spread? Let's find one. Here's the December monthly spread. So you can see it has like a space for gratitudes. And I've done a whole video on this if you want to check it out. And it's a pretty cute little journal. So yes. Okay, so that's the 1, 2, 3rd one, right? Yeah, I can count y'all to 3. It's just so easy. So anyway, the next one is my art journal. I might have to turn it here or move some of these out of the way to show you. So my art journal, it's actually the 2nd art journal that I'm completing, and I weekly will do, like, shocker, I'll do art in this. So this one is, I can show you because it's not like personal writing or anything, but this is a very cool little guy. So this kind of allows me to scratch the itch of collage and scrapbooking. I love this page with all the stamps, especially this froggy stamp. Anyway, so this one is also very chunky, as you can see, because it's got pretty full, and it's about halfway done. Let me see. Yeah, about halfway full. So that is awesome, and that's the art journal. And then the next one is my junk journal, which I have made this, but I don't use it like every day or anything. But I did want to mention it because the one, it got stuck, so I had to unstick it. But this one is really cool because it just like, when I feel like junk journaling, I simplify, not simplify. So anyway, this one is just when I feel like junk journaling or when a lot of junk builds up, then I'll put it in here. And this is the first junk journal that I've ever done, and it's pretty artsy, I'll say. Like a lot of people's junk journals are like their yogurt wrapper or, you know, something like that. And this one is definitely like a more artsy junk journal, but I did not buy anything for this. So I had all the supplies already. So that's why I felt comfortable calling it a junk journal. And then literally just because I like made the whole thing out of these loops and then the paper. So it has a very junk journal feel to it. So this is the other one. I started this back in January and I haven't done much with it lately, but again, when I feel like it, I'll go into this, and you can see there's some writing on the back of that. It's backwards. So anyway, fun little junk journal here that kind of exists to help me when I need it, and that's a really cool one. So yes, okay. So to review, we have the junk journal, the art journal, the creative planner, long-term collections, the everyday journal, it's about to topple over, and the scribble book, the just the everyday kind of list book. So those are all the ones I'm working with right now, and we're about to start the 7th most amazing journal, which will be that memory keeping journal. So here it is again, but before we get into this guy, I have to organize some junk, so let's do that. So I had been collecting little bits of ephemera, little pieces of my life, and it had been a few months of collecting this stuff, and I really decided that it was time for them to have a home, because I went throughout my whole house in order to collect this little box of stuff. And some of it is from our travels this summer, some of it is from home, but it's all just like wanting to be organized and to have a home. So I was really happy to bring this all together and to start this new journal. And as you kind of saw, there's all kinds of different things in here. There's receipts, there's stickers, there's tags, there's just little bits and bobs from life as we know it. So it's just such a joy, like I said, to bring this all together. And I can't wait to see how this journal turns out. It's going to be really fun. So here I am just like bringing this all together again so that we can work on some arty-farty stuff. And it was just like important for me to organize it by like type. So that's how I did it. The stickers are together, the ephemera's together, and the other stuff. Okay, so I have this somewhat organized now. Organized is a very loose term for this, but I did kind of pile, as you saw, like the ephemera together, and then the stickers together, and then all the other fun stuff is kind of underneath. So now we can get into actually creating with this stuff. This was extra that I just put on the top just now. But anyway, so yes, let's move into this brand new memory keeping journal and use some of this ephemera and bits to create something cool. The first thing I do with most of my art journal of notebooks is I place page numbers in them, but first, to figure out where the first page starts, I have to mark what pages I want at the very beginning. So here I am doing that now, and then you can see I numbered the pages because I like to have an index at the beginning of my books, but you know, an index doesn't work unless you know what page it is. Now the pages are all ready, they have been numbered, and the index can happen now. Okay, so now that I have page numbers, I feel that I can move forward. I did go ahead and, like you saw, put these little post-its. So this I'm going to make a splash page later, like a title page. And then the index, I am going to have 3 pages. 1.5 spreads for the index. And then in my long-term collections, it was the first time I ever did an About Me page in my journal. I had seen that on the internet and I was inspired to create an About Me. So that's what I'm going to do on this just single page. The one in my long-term collections is a full spread, but I just think I want to do a single one for this one. And then here we are at page 1. So This is where I'm gonna have my summer of 2025 begin, because that's like the junk that I have is basically from summer. And I do have a May little mini calendar that I'm gonna put in here, but I'm kind of debating if I want to do like a full or half, like one page or a full spread of like a splash saying like summer 2025, because I'm probably gonna have like several pages of summer. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna think about it. We'll see. But yes, let's get into creating. I looked around at what I had gathered, and I basically re-separated it out by month, and then was able to start creating a layered composition on the first page that represented summer. So it was really cool going through all this again and just the memories coming back from all the little bits and bobs. And I think that's really one of the most important parts about a process like this, is just like really making it your own and finding the joy in it. So I just really, I don't know, I think that's so important and not talked about enough, like how creativity can be really simple, but also like how, I don't know, everybody's creativity is pretty different. So anyway, it's just neat to have this opportunity to make like a scrapbook like this, because it really, when I flex my creativity in this way of just like making random stuff, it really gives me like self-confidence, and it allows me to just be less perfectionistic and just enjoy life more. So anyway, I love this creative hobby. And yeah, if you have a creative hobby, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you about like what your creative hobby is, or if you journal, because I know a lot of us have journals, but there's like so many different ways to keep a journal. As you saw, I have 7 now and they're all a little bit different. So anyway, if you ever do have a process like this in your life, just know that there's really like no wrong way to do it, and that can be really helpful to start, to just know there's no wrong way. So anyway, I super appreciate you watching this video, and I would love, like I said, to hear from you in the comments. That would be great, and I am going to continue to share and update about this journal as I go. I'm sure I'll be doing like flip throughs over the time. But yes, it was super fun to create this very first spread for summer of 2025 with all the little bits and bobs that I have been collecting for literal months, and I'm just so glad they have a home now. So let me know in the comments about your creative hobby, or if you would ever try on a scrapbook like this to help your memory keeping. I would love to hear from you, and I wish you such a great day. Have a fabulous one. Okay, y'all, it's been real fun. Talk to you soon.